So by now, I've made a few videos talking about what I believe to be the current best credit cards to have on the market, but I do like to do an updated version of these every few months or so based off the changes that I see in the credit card market, as well as things like elevated sign-up bonuses and welcome offers. So in today's video, I have for you what I believe to be the 8 essential credit cards to have in 2023. And if you do have any of these 8 credit cards or all 8 of them, then you're definitely going to be on the right track when it comes to maximizing your credit card strategy. So starting things off at number 1, we have the Capital One Savor One card. Now, overall, this is just the best credit card I've found when it comes to earning cash back for anything food related, and that is because with the benefits of this credit card, you would think that it has a super high annual fee, but in reality, this credit card comes with no annual fee. So with this card, you're going to be able to get a free Uber One membership, which is going to give you access to free delivery and discounted prices on food. Plus, you're also going to be able to combine that with earning 10% back on Uber purchases now through November 2024, which is some pretty insane value in my opinion. Now, outside of that, this card is also going to get you unlimited 3% back on dining, groceries, entertainment purchases, as well as streaming services, and then 1% back on everything else. Additionally, you can also get 8% back on any Capital One entertainment purchases for things like events or concerts, and 5% back on hotels and rental cars booked through the Capital One travel portal. And I do know that previously the Capital One travel portal may have not been the greatest, but since they have stepped it up a lot, and in my opinion, it is a pretty solid overall option when it comes to booking travel, and even offers you the ability to price match if you do find a lower price somewhere else within the first 24 hours of your booking. And in my opinion, this is just a very solid option for anyone who wants a great earning card for their food spend, especially when you're able to get that 10% back with Uber. Next up for card number 2, we have the Chase Freedom Flex. So with this card, you're going to be able to get a $200 cashback sign-up bonus after you spend $500 in the first 3 months of account opening. Plus, at the time of filming this video, they're offering you 5% back on the first $12,000 spent in combined purchases between gas and groceries. With this card, you can also get 3% back on dining, takeout, and delivery, 3% back at drugstores, and 5% back on Chase travel booked within that Chase travel portal. But really where this card is going to shine is that you can earn 5% back in the first $1,500 spent in different rotating categories each quarter. So what this is going to look like is each quarter, Chase is going to come out with different categories where you can earn 5% back in the first $1,500 spent in those categories. And in the past, these categories have included things like gym and fitness memberships, Amazon, and currently at the time of filming this video, you're gonna be able to get 5% back on EV and gas station purchases. One last quick tip that I do have for you is that if you do get this credit card, you do have to manually enroll for the different categories each quarter, but Chase does send out an email reminder with the categories each quarter. But just keep that in mind that if you do get the Freedom Flex, you will have to manually enroll in those categories. Moving on to card number 3, we have none other than the American Express Gold Card. Now, this is a card that I've talked a lot about here on my channel, and that is simply just because I do believe that this is a card that not only everyone can benefit from having, but also one of my most used credit cards that I actually carry in my wallet. So with this card, you're going to be able to get 4x back on groceries for the first $25,000 spent each year, as well as 4x back on dining, and on top of that, you can also get 3x back on flights booked either directly with the airline or in the Amex travel portal. And then lastly, you'll be able to get 1x back on everything else with this credit card. Now, the reason why I believe that this credit card is so valuable is because when it comes to food spending, whether that be dining out or grocery shopping, this is going to be one of the categories where people spend the most amount of money in each month. So being able to get 4x back on all of that spending is going to be able to get you some great value and a lot of Amex points that you can then use for things like traveling, which is why this tends to be the card that I use most often and the most on a day-to-day basis. And yes, this credit card does come with an annual fee of $250 a year, which is definitely on the higher side for a credit card, but it does also give you 2 really nice credits in the form of $10 each month to either Uber or Uber Eats, and a $10 a month dining credit that you can just use for things like Grubhub to make things even easier. And this totals up to $240 a year in value, value, which effectively makes your annual fee with this credit card only $10 a year. Now, I will say with this that if you are not already using these services like Uber or Grubhub on a monthly basis, then the credits may not make as much sense for you. But even if you do take the credits out of the equation, the average person in the US spends roughly $438 per month, or $5,259 each year on food, which is going to equate to roughly about 21,036 Amex MR points. And at 1 cent per point, that means you're getting roughly about $1,900 in value each year from this credit card, even after subtracting that annual fee. Lastly, with this credit card, you're going to be getting all of the great perks and benefits that come with American Express, which are going to include things like purchase protection, extended warranty, and their excellent customer service. Now, moving over to card number 4, we have the Built MasterCard, and this right here, in my opinion, is going to be an absolutely essential credit card for anyone who is currently renting. And that is because with the Built MasterCard, this is going to be the first ever credit card that not only allows you to pay rent with no additional fees or charges, but it also allows you to earn 1 point per every dollar you spend on rent as well. And this card does also come with some other decent earning categories as well, like 3x back on dining and 2x back on travel purchases. And this does get even better because on the first day of each month, which is typically when most people are going to be paying rent, the dining and travel categories are going to be doubled, meaning that you could earn 6x back on dining and 4x back on travel. So if you do have this credit card and you're looking at booking some upcoming travel, then definitely consider waiting till the first of the month where you can actually get 4x back on your traveling purchases. Now, if all of that wasn't good enough on its own, this credit card is also the only credit card on the market currently that comes with no annual fee, but also allows you to utilize transfer partners. So you can take all of your Built points that you earn from rent each month and actually transfer them out to airline or hotel partners for traveling. And Built does also have a very impressive network of travel partners with things like Hyatt Hotels as well as American Airlines, which, if you didn't know, no other credit card on the market also transfers directly to American Airlines, making it a very valuable partner to actually have. I will say that the only con of this card is that it does not come with any type of welcome bonus or sign-up offer, but given all the other value that this credit card offers, I do still think that it is an excellent credit card for anybody to have, especially for those who are renting. For credit card number 5, we have the Capital One Venture X, and with this credit card, you're going to be able to get a 75,000 point sign-up bonus after spending $4,000 in the first 3 months of account opening, and that's going to come in the form of Capital One miles. Going over to the earning structure, this card is going to get you 10x back on hotels and rental cars booked through the Capital One travel portal, 5x back on flights booked in the same travel portal, and lastly 2x back on everything else with this credit card, making it a fantastic catch-all credit card as well. And while this credit card does come with a $395 annual fee, this can actually be completely offset due to 2 really useful credits that Capital One gives you, and that is going to be a yearly $300 travel credit for use within their travel portal, as well as a 10,000 mile anniversary bonus that you're going to get each year when you keep this credit card open, which essentially just equates to another $100 in value, meaning that in total you can get $400 a year in value out of this credit card, effectively canceling out that annual fee entirely. This card does also come with things like access to Priority Pass and Capital One lounges, meaning you have access to over 1,300 lounge options when traveling, where you can also bring up to 2 guests for free each visit. And on top of all of that, you can also add up to 4 authorized users completely free to your account. And when you do this, each authorized user is also going to get their own access to lounges and be able to bring their own 2 guests as well. Now, I do have some other videos actually going over this card in depth, but essentially if you are traveling just a few times a year, but you can't really justify something like the American Express Platinum card, then the Capital One Venture X is definitely a solid option for you. Moving on to card number 6, we have the Chase Sapphire Preferred, and with this card, you're going to be able to get a 60,000 point sign-up bonus after spending $4,000 in the first 3 months of account opening. And for the earning structures of this card, you're going to be able to get 3x back on dining, 3x back on streaming services, 3x back on online groceries, and 5x back on Chase travel, as well as 1x back on everything else. But the real area where this card is going to shine is that with this, all of your Chase points are going to be able to be redeemed for an additional 25% value when you book travel within their travel portal. So while your 60,000 point sign up bonus would normally be worth maybe $600 for travel, it's now going to be worth $750 if you're booking in the Chase travel portal. And if you remember earlier, we talked about the Chase Freedom Flex, which is actually going to pair up very nicely with the Sapphire Preferred, because by holding both of these credit cards, what you can actually do is combine all of your Chase points and then redeem them for travel with the extra 25% value. Additionally, if you are someone who likes to take advantage of transfer partners, then get a little bit more value out of your points, you can also do the same where you combine all of your Chase points, but then transfer them over to an airline or hotel partner. For card number 7, I wanted to go ahead and include a business card on the list because I do believe that anyone can benefit from having at least one business credit card, even if you don't currently own or have what you would consider to be a traditional business. Now, I'm not going to go too in depth here about how to get approved for business credit cards since I do have a full video covering just that, but basically with having a business credit card, it gets you two main benefits, and one is going to be that business credit cards typically come with higher sign-up bonuses than personal cards, and the second is that business credit cards do not report to your personal credit. So for my business credit card, I wanted to go ahead and include the Chase Business Inc. Unlimited, and with this card, you're going to be able to get a $750 cashback sign-up bonus after spending $6,000 in the first 3 months of account opening. And if you were to pair this card up with the Sapphire Preferred, which we previously talked about, you can do the same thing and use those points for travel, meaning that your $750 sign-up bonus now comes with a total value of around $940 if you wanted to use it for travel. Outside of all of that, this credit card is just going to get you a very solid 1.5% back on all of your purchases with this card. And overall, I just think it's a very solid earning credit card. It's a great catch-all credit card, and you get to reap all of the benefits that come with owning a business credit card, like it not actually reporting and affecting your personal credit score. And for the final credit card on this list, we have the American Express Blue Cash Everyday. And in my opinion, I do think that this card tends to be underrated and get overlooked at times. And with it, you're going to be able to earn 3% back on grocery shopping, 3% back at gas stations, and my personal favorite, which is going to be 3% back on online shopping. I know that this is only 3% back on the first $6,000 spent in each category per year, but in my opinion, this is still great value, especially if you compare that and you see that no other credit card on the market is giving you 3% back when you're online shopping, except maybe something like the Apple Card, but that's really only going to be when you're shopping directly at Apple. With this, you can also get a $200 sign-up bonus after spending $2,000 in the first 3 months of account opening. And for me, this card is just a solid option to have for any random expenses that may not fall into one of the higher earning categories on some of the other cards that we talked about in this video, or if I was just doing some online shopping on maybe Amazon and I don't have a credit card that's going to get me maybe more than 2% back, then this is also a solid option to have. But that is going to be it for what I believe to be the 8 essential credit cards that everyone should have, or at least think about getting in 2023 to maximize your credit card strategy. But I am curious to know, what are some of your favorite credit cards that you either have or you want to get in the upcoming future? So definitely let me know by leaving a comment down below. If you enjoyed this video and got any value out of it, I would appreciate if you could drop a like down below, as it helps me and the channel out tremendously. And if you are new and are interested in more content just like this, where I talk about personal finance and credit card tips, then consider hitting that subscribe button so you never miss a new video. As always, you all are amazing. Thank you to each and every one of you who clicked on the video, and I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day.